Welcome back to HB Unfiltered Sports Talk. I'm joined by the Stiff Brownie, the intern, and yours truly, the Dirtbag. Today's show is brought to you by J3 Supply Group for your hose and fitting specialist. Also, we got First Class Pizza, Big Rob's Pizza in Westminster, and then we have OC Boardroom, Aloha Grill, and we got GotBackup.com. Also, remember to go to our website, HB Unfiltered Sports Talk, and look at our merchandise. And also go to YouTube to like and subscribe. We really need the support. We need to start making money and turn this into a real job. So
let's do it.
Yeah, we got to do this. So today we're gonna find out what happened this week in sports with our intern.
So in this week in sports history, 1947. Jackie Robinson is named 1947 Rookie of the Year. In 1968, Mickey Mantle hits his final career homer, number 536. 1988, American diver Greg Louganis wins the 3-meter springboard gold medal at the Seoul Olympics after famously hitting his head on the board just the previous day. 1993, Nolan Ryan, 46, pitches his last game. And 2004, NFL Oakland Raider wide receiver Jerry Rice ends an NFL streak of 274 consecutive games with a reception in a 13-10 victory over the Buffalo Bills. 2008, Greg Maddux pitches his 5,000th career inning against the San Francisco Giants. And in 2022, Kenyan runner Kipchoge breaks his own world record for the marathon in 2 hours, 1 minute, 9 seconds in Berlin.
It's literally sprinting. Oh my God, 2 hours. That will be amazing the day that somebody runs a marathon under 2 hours. That is one of the worst things. I would never even think to run a marathon. I hate running. Obviously, you can tell. So anyways, thank you, intern. Those were awesome stats. Love the Jackie Robinson Rookie of the Year. What do you got?
Want to get right into baseball?
Yeah, let's get into the baseball.
We can spend more time on college football, which has got an amazing slate on Saturday. So
yeah, Angels. Just for the record, since we talk about them so much, 16 games out with 12 to play. Do the math on that, peeps.
All right, let me just tell you who's hot and who's not. I've been doing this the last couple of weeks of telling you what to look for coming down the stretch, okay? So there's a lot of wild card implications. There's also the people that want to win the division. AL West is up for grabs. Yeah. AL East is up for grabs. Even the NL Central is up for grabs. So you're looking this weekend, you want to look at the Chicago Cubs. They're at home against Colorado. I like the Chicago Cubs. Cincinnati is at home versus Pittsburgh. I like Cincinnati.
Yeah.
The reason I like that is because both of those teams are trying to win their division, the NL Central. So they've got to win the games. The next one is Atlanta Braves at Washington. It's just because Atlanta is so much better than Washington.
Right.
Baltimore at Cleveland. I won't be able to bet on that because they're playing in Cleveland, and I'm 8-128. I've got 8 wins and 128 losses on Cleveland sports. It's god awful.
Well, don't look at it that way. You're betting on Baltimore.
But all you guys bet on it because you'll win some money. Trust me, I won't be the mush for you.
Baltimore.
Then the last one is Houston is at home against Kansas City. Kansas City is obviously a bad team, but they're again, Texas is having to play. Houston is having to play. Seattle is having to play.
Yeah.
All the games they have to win going out because all 3 of those teams are not only playing for the AL West, but also possibly the 2 wild cards. So go ahead and make some money. Those are your teams: Chicago Cubs, Cincinnati Reds, Atlanta, Baltimore Orioles, and the Houston Astros this weekend.
I cannot stop talking about this. How in the hell was Artie thinking, dude? The Mariners are awesome. The Astros are always there, and the Rangers are awesome. But hey, the Rangers, it's going to be tough for the Rangers. They lost Scherzer. So
well, you made a really good point that the spoiler actually of the one team that could literally spoil all 3 of those teams' hopes to make the playoffs is ironically enough, how we bagged on them all year, is the Oakland Athletics.
Yeah, the Oakland Athletics play all 3 of these teams with, I mean, they're in their fourth to last series right now, and then and then the last 3 series, each of those teams plays the A's. So
Yeah.
you better sweep the A's if you want to win the division.
Yep, I agree with you.
So
So, anyways, there you go. Make some money, guys, and let's move on to college football because that slate is on fire this
okay,
weekend.
last week might have been one of the most boringest week of slate of football I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It was just
Nobody was playing
big
anybody.
spreads.
Yeah.
Everybody was favored by 30. There was no quality games, but now we're in the conference games. Now we got some awesome games. We got first. I want to talk about UCLA at Utah. This is going to be a good game. Now, Utah would definitely take Utah if they had Cameron Rising at quarterback, but I think they're going to have to go with their backups. It's only 4.5, but it's at Utah. They are tough to beat there. UCLA hasn't won. I'm going with Utah in this one.
I like Utah, and I'm a Bruins fan. Utah is extremely tough at home to beat, so I like that.
Okay.
I
now-
also like the over in that game. I think there's going to be a lot of points.
Oh yeah. They both have high powered offenses. So
Even with the backup.
I see that happening. And then we got Colorado at Oregon. Oregon's a huge favorite, 21. I mean, Colorado State should have beaten Colorado. And I don't know if you saw it, but remember Blackburn, the safety?
Mm-hmm.
He hit Travis Hunter. Lacerated kidney is what that was. I thought it was just a broken rib or maybe a punctured lung, but it was a lacerated
I was wondering
liver.
what happened to Hunter. So is he out for several games?
He's out. He's out. Definitely the Oregon game, but they said possibly like 3 to 4 more games.
Wow.
So
He's their playmaker on both sides of the ball, too.
yeah. So I actually think Oregon can cover the 21 because Colorado's defense is not very good.
Yep.
They're going to have to outscore them, but I think it's going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of like 52 to 28, something like that.
I'm going to give Colorado a little more credit on offense. I think they'll dial some things up, and obviously Sanders' son is legit. I like the over in that game.
Yeah, he's legit. I like the way that kid plays. He's got a chip on his shoulder, just like his dad.
Yep.
All right, we're going into the Pac-2, Oregon State versus Washington State. These are the last 2 remaining teams that have no home next year. They'll probably filter into the Mountain West and take a huge pay cut, go from $20 million a year that they got from the Pac-12 to $8 million.
Yeah.
But they'll be decent. But this is this is the first time in their storied history they've played 108 times. They've never both been ranked in the top 25.
Oh, really?
When
That's
when they played each other, because they're notoriously not very good. But Washington State's good, man. Cameron Ward, this guy can play. I'm still not a believer in DJ Aguglier, the kid from Bosco, went to Clemson, kind of failed there, transferred.
I think the pressure got to him.
I think Washington State at home is going to beat Oregon State. They really haven't played anybody, but maybe they played San Jose State and San Diego State, but that's not good enough. But those are going to be the teams they play going forward, starting next year.
If they don't win the Mountain West, oh dear God.
Now this one, I don't know if I can wake up early enough for this one at 9 a.m. Florida State at Clemson.
Oh, that's going to be a great game.
Florida State struggled at Boston College, and if Boston College didn't have 18 penalties,
yeah.
they might have pulled that upset off. So even though Clemson looks so horrible against Duke, I'm going to take Clemson at home to knock off Florida State in number 3.
Number 3, Florida State. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. Come on, Clemson. Chris LaRocca would really like to make some money off you since all he's done is lost this entire season being a Clemson homer. So
Now here's another team that has underperformed. By the way, a lot of teams, including Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, none of them have really impressed me so far this year. They're not playing. Alabama looks horrible. Michigan was up only 14-6 on Bowling Green at home last game.
that's
And
terrible.
they're playing a Rutgers team that's coming back. They're pretty decent, and they're like a 20-point dog. I'm gonna take Rutgers in the points
Yeah.
to cover against Michigan.
Who do they play? Rutgers played who their first game of the season?
Oh, they
And
destroyed Northwestern, but Northwestern's not very
very
good.
good. Okay.
They with the whole thing. with
Notoriously,
that,
they have been.
the
So
whole
I was
thing
like,
with that
damn.
scandal, the harassment.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So they got a whole new coaching staff, everything. And now the game of the day: Ohio State at Notre Dame.
Ooh.
I think Ohio State's down this year. I don't know about this kid McCord at quarterback. They lost a lot of receivers, running backs, players last year in the NFL. Notre Dame, Sam Hartman, he is looking good, man. I'm thinking Notre Dame can pull this off and beat Ohio State. It's in Notre Dame.
It's in Notre Dame, and that quarterback is legit.
Yep.
I like Notre Dame. How many points?
You know, I think Ohio State's like favored by 2 or 3.
Okay, so it's a pick 'em basically.
Yeah, pretty much
Okay.
a pick 'em, but I'm thinking Notre Dame can pull this off.
All right, let's do it.
All right, now here we go. We're going to talk about Alabama. Nick Saban's got his hands full this time. He doesn't really have a QB that can throw. So obviously he's going back to Jalen Milroy. At least that kid can run.
Right. Yeah.
So they'll have that. But Ole Miss is good with Jackson Dart. This is his 3rd season now with Ole Miss. They're ranked 15th.
It's Lane Kiffin,
Alabama
too.
might lose at
It's
home.
Lane Kiffin too, and he
Yes.
knows how to put up some points.
This is the first Lane Kiffin team that's got a legit chance to beat Alabama, who's down. So it's only 7. Alabama's favored by 7. I'm taking Ole Miss plus the 7.
I like that, and also take the over in that game. That Lane Kiffin doesn't ever go off the throttle.
Okay.
He will run it up if he can run it up.
Now this is another interesting game. Prime time. Iowa ranked 20th. They're going to Penn State, who's ranked 8th in the country. Now Penn State hasn't beaten a top 20 team out of their last 6. So they lost 6 straight versus a top 20 team. Every time Penn State needs a big game, they don't win. But this is the game I think they finally break through. I think they beat Iowa at home in front of a whitewashed crowd.
Yep, I like that. I think I watched them play last week, and they're actually a pretty good team.
115,000 all wearing white. It's pretty
They
impressive
play some good
scene
defense too.
in Beaver County.
Yep.
Had to get that in there. All right, and the last game I want to talk about, Texas. They did not look impressive. You know, I thought it was an impressive win against Alabama when they beat them, but now we know Alabama's not that good. Texas did not look good at home against Wyoming. It was 10-10 going into the 4th quarter. They finally pulled away and won by like 20, like 30-10, but they struggled, and now they go to Baylor. Baylor's not very good. Texas should win this game, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think.
I agree with you.
It's 14.5. I'm taking Baylor to cover the 14.5 since they're at home.
Okay, I like that.
And that's our slate. So this is a good slate of college football on Saturday all day long from 9 a.m. till 7:30. Oh, and I got to throw in there the Trojans, USC. I've never seen them favored by 35 points at Arizona State.
Arizona State's pretty bad though.
Arizona State's horrible. When they lost to Oklahoma State, I was like, all right, that's, Oklahoma State's a good team. And then Oklahoma State goes home the following week, plays not Alabama, South Alabama, and loses 33-8.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing. Oh, and Arizona State lost 29-0 at home to Fresno State.
The problem with betting on USC this year, or so far this year, I should say, is that you don't know how long they're going to allow Caleb Williams to play in the game.
That's
They've
correct.
been taking him out in the 3rd quarter, and so you're losing a lot of offense that could be hitting the over or the spread, especially if these spreads are as big as they have been.
Hey, just so you
it's
know,
really difficult to bet on them.
I don't bet with my heart. These spreads are huge. They're in the 30s. I took San Jose State. I covered on that one. But then I took Nevada. They got blown out. USC still covered.
Yeah.
And then I took the 29.5 when Stanford went to SC, and they got blown out. So USC's covered 2 of the 3 times of these 30+.
I've got to watch more of the backup quarterback before I feel comfortable.
Miller Moss is decent. I've seen this kid play. He can play. That Malachi Nelson, I don't think we'll ever see the field for SC. I think he's
Transfer portal guy?
Yep, he's like Spencer Rattler. He's got attitude. He's not going to like sitting behind, and I think he's going to bounce.
Okay.
So
I like all that stuff.
All right.
So let's make some money, guys.
Yep.
That's what we're here to do.
Yep.
So let's transition into the NFL. Last week we gave you a couple tips. I hit every single teaser on Sunday. Every single one
Nice.
I did. Every single one I told you guys about. The only bet I lost was a straight bet that I took on Kansas City first half.
Yeah,
just goes to show
they
you.
struggled.
It just goes to show you.
Somebody's thinking about Taylor Swift.
Stay away from the spreads.
Sorry.
Sorry, shout out to Travis Kelce and her next album.
He's distracted.
But this week, I like, again, what I was trying to tell people is take 2 team 7-point teasers, do a round robin where you're doing like 1 and 2, teams 1 and 2, teams 1 and 3, teams 2 and 3. Put them together, and again, you're looking for magic numbers. You're looking for -2.5, +3.5, +10.5, +7.5. minus 6.5. There are a couple spreads this week that are fairly big. There's a 13 and there's a 12. But the teams that I like using the the 7-point 2-team round robin type thing, you can pick one of any of these teams, or 2 or 3 or 4 of any of these teams. It's San Francisco, Jacksonville, Miami, Detroit at home, which always covers the over,
Right.
Baltimore, and Kansas City this week. Those are the teams that I'm focused on. I know that the San Francisco line, because Barkley just came out, the news came out, is moving, and it's moving quick.
Right.
So, it's a Thursday night game. Get on it. Do your research. Again, look for those magic numbers where it's plus 3.5 or it's plus 7.5, where you're covering that touchdown.
Yeah.
And you can make money. Yes, you're not making even money. It's usually about, what is it, like 140, like a minus 140.
Right.
But man, I cleaned house this weekend. Cleaned house. My bookie was not happy with what happened.
I can understand that.
So, do you like anything else?
No. I did want to mention, back to baseball. Did you see Schwarber? He hit a 480
Oh God, that was a bomb.
3-foot crush.
Dude
I mean,
has-
he's 17 feet away from 500.
He's hitting 200. He's got exactly I think he has like 48 home runs, 100 and something RBIs, and he's only got like 20 singles.
Yeah.
And he's struck out like 1,000 times. I
Dude,
don't know.
modern day Dave Kingman. It's either home run or bust.
I do want to eat crow real quick and give a shout out to the Dirtbag. We went face to face this week, and he beat me by roughly, I think it was either 8 or 10 points.
That's right.
Yeah.
Number two beats number 9
So
ranked team.
we're 1-1. We're 1-1 right now
Yeah. Well, all
on our
right.
bet.
I'll be in the playoffs, and you'll be sitting at home watching.
Cheers,
on the
guys.
couch.